Hello everyone, this is Dave with Nemesis System Investigations for the first week of December 2018. I've just been doing a little bit of research on the interweb, and I thought I'd show you guys a few things that I've compiled that obviously show some evidence towards the possibility that we live in a binary star system. Well, without further ado, I'll get this started and show you what I've found so far. As you can see here, people, there's a lot of research that's been done by lots of scientists throughout the years and determining that we do live in a binary star system. Now here's another small clip that I was going to show you guys. Again, it's more scientific research and whatnot that I've stumbled across, and I thought I'd show you guys this as well. Check this out.
It is believed that the Sun forms a binary system with a sister star called Nemesis. The Nemesis hypothesis arose in a research article published in 1984 in the journal Nature. Nemesis would be, according to this article, a dark little star, perhaps a brown dwarf with a more distant orbit than Pluto's. A binary star is a star system consisting of two stars orbiting each other around a common center of mass. Recent studies suggest that a high percentage of stars are part of systems of at least two stars. It is estimated that approximately one-third of the star systems in the Milky Way are binary or multiple, and the remaining two-thirds consist of individual stars. There is a direct correlation between the period of revolution of a binary star and the eccentricity of its orbit. In the case of the Sun and Nemesis, this eccentricity would be very large. With an orbital period of 2,800 years, Nemesis would be a brown dwarf, not a sufficiently massive star to maintain continuous nuclear hydrogen fusion reactions in its core. Unlike the stars of the main sequence, brown dwarfs occupy the mass range between the heavier gaseous giants and lighter stars. The differences between a brown dwarf and gas giant planets are minimal. Despite its name, brown dwarfs are of different colors. Many brown dwarfs are magenta, orange, and also red for the human eye. Brown dwarfs are not very bright, and the low energy emission from these stars blocks direct observation from great distances. Despite this, several hundred brown dwarfs have been identified. with surface temperatures ranging between 800 and 2000 degrees Celsius. Its surface temperature is an increasing function with the mass and decreasing with the age of the object. In 1983, the infrared astronomical satellite IRIS makes a startling discovery. IRIS scientists say they have detected a large object in the deep reaches of the solar system. This article appears in the Washington Post. A large celestial body as large as the giant planet.
It was also in the Washington Post and New York Times. It was top news, prime time news in 1983. And that is when basically the Nemesis star was in our backyard. And after that day, it was forbidden to talk about Nibiru, Nemesis, or anything to do with it publicly in anything. You couldn't teach about it in college or universities. You couldn't teach about it in schools. It was basically illegal to talk about it. And that's when the government was started preparing even more and building their deep underground military bases and whatnot. But I mean, how do you prepare for something that is prophesized? And not only is it prophesized, but you can see it coming. So you can see a prophecy coming. It's prophesied in the Bible. It's called wormwood in the Bible. Anyhow.
Jupiter and so close to Earth that would be part of this solar system has been found in the direction of the Orion constellation. The discovery was made by an orbiting telescope aboard USA infrared astronomical satellite IRIS. So mysterious is the object that astronomers do not know whether it is a planet, a giant comet, or a nearby protostar that never got hot enough to become a star. The most fascinating explanation for this mysterious body is that it is so cold that it casts no light and has never been seen by optical telescopes despite being a gas giant as large as Jupiter and being so near Earth. So close, in fact, that would be a body closest to Earth beyond the most distant planet, Pluto. Among all that has been said about Nemesis, comments also appear on a mysterious planet called Nibiru. Is there any connection between them? It seems so, and both may be the same celestial body. While the Babylonians referred to Nibiru as the transition point, this would be nothing more than the effect produced by the passage of Nemesis. Since its influence would cause all kinds of events on volcanoes, tides, climate, and global temperatures seriously affecting the human population, Nibiru would have been mistranslated and actually mean change of era. Nothing would be the same after the pass of Nemesis. We have previously discussed the cyclical changes in the Earth each 2,800 years. The last change was in the year 0 of the Christian era, and now all dates refer to the birth of Jesus Christ. In the year 2800 BC came the Great Flood in Mesopotamia, and new Sumerian and Egyptian dynasties appear. It reoccurs an important change of era, and in 5600 BC the Black Sea Flood takes place, and many scholars associate this event with the disappearance of Atlantis. In 8400 BC the Ice Age ends and occurs the beginning of the Neolithic. And so it seems that every 2,800 years supernatural or destructive events take place. Following this line of reasoning,
some say 2,800 years, some say 3,600 years. That's up for debate. But the fact of the matter is, between 2,000 and 4,000 years, our sun's companion star, Nemesis, our sun is called Sol, and the dark star is called Nemesis. They come by and transition in an orbit that gets close every 2,000 to 4,000 years is basically what I'm trying to say. I've got one more thing to show you all here.
Muller believes that as Nemesis nears the Sun, its gravitational disturbance sends comets flying through the solar system. The resulting impacts have been the source of many major extinction events in Earth's history. Muller explains how the theory came about.
Two paleontologists, when looking at patterns of extinctions, came across something that seemed utterly insane. They said that similar extinctions were taking place every 26 million years on a regular schedule.
The discovery of a 26 million year pattern of extinctions seemed impossible to explain by any process native to the Earth itself.
This is the sort of thing you dream about in science. It means there's something we don't understand. It means there's a discovery waiting. So I set about trying to figure out what that was.
astonishing proposal. The only logical cause of these periodic extinctions is a cosmic stalker that orbits our sun every 26 million years, disturbing the comets on each approach. In short, a Death Star companion to our sun.
If this star is discovered, it is so important. It was a major player in the evolution of life on Earth. Without this, perhaps the dinosaurs would still be here.
If Mueller is right, humanity itself could owe its existence to the Nemesis Death Star. After all, each mass extinction wiped out vast numbers of species, but each also cleared the way for new species to arise, including, ultimately, humans. We can witness the way Nemesis would have altered evolution on Earth by looking at a controlled burn. Barely glows at all.
It would be the closest star to our sun, and we wouldn't even know it. Now, why is that? The way we discover nearby stars is either because they're very bright, and a red dwarf star is not very bright, or because the sun is moving past it. This star is moving with us. Yes, it's orbiting us, but that orbit is very slow, 26 million years. So it would be moving with us. It would just be at a fixed position in the sky and wouldn't move.
In other words, when viewed from Earth, most nearby objects are shifting over time. But Nemesis is sitting still. So, as the search for Nemesis enters high gear, one key question is where to look. Luckily, scientists understand how binary stars orbit each other, and they can apply this knowledge to the search for Nemesis. If both the Sun and Nemesis were of equal mass, they would orbit each other in a vast but equal circle, and the search for Nemesis would be relatively easy. But binary stars are rarely equally sized. On Earth. In 2003, astronomer Mike Brown made an historic discovery when he found something floating around the night sky he couldn't explain.
I remember the day that I discovered Sedna, looking at it on my computer screen, looking at these pictures. My first reaction was, that can't be real. It's too far away. Nothing like that exists in the solar system.
What he stumbled upon turned out to be a planetoid just smaller than our moon, now named Sedna. But Sedna presents a scientific quandary. At its nearest point, Sedna lies about 3 times farther away from the sun. Its gravitational disturbance.
Anyhow, that's a little bit more there. I just wanted to show you one last thing here. This is a diagram of what happens if a brown dwarf enters our solar system and what kind of mayhem it would cause. I'm going to show you here.
It's 13 years now. So part of the problem with these people who believe in Nibiru or brown dwarfs entering the solar system, or that they already exist in the solar system and are orbiting around, they don't understand how disruptive those gravitational forces are on our solar system. Our solar system has evolved for billions of years and has entered a stable state, so it's quite sensitive to any gravitational perturbations that might exist. And to prove that, this brown dwarf, which is much smaller than the sun, is going to start interacting, and already has, it looks like, with Jupiter. You can see the trajectory of Jupiter appears to have been altered already by this brown dwarf. And it looks like they're going to get quite close together. I doubt if they'll collide, but they're getting close. Yeah, see how it's bending Jupiter? It's radically changed the orbit of Jupiter because the brown dwarf is much more massive than Jupiter. Look at that. It's caused Jupiter to go almost vertical.
And Jupiter is basically our
Now it's
bodyguard,
entering the
protects
inner
us from
solar system.
foreign debris entering our solar
Slows down just
system.
a little more.
The blue is a habitable zone, and green, and the
It
blue.
looks like it's already perturbing the orbit of the Earth. We're 16, almost 17 years into the simulation now. Venus is going to get hit hard, it looks like. Maybe not as hard as we thought. The Earth is definitely getting pulled out. Oh, it has affected Venus. And Mercury is changing its orbit quite radically as well. And Mars? Oh, poor Mars. Yeah, it's getting pulled out really badly. Look at the orbit of Earth now. It's getting pulled out away from the habitable zone. Let's keep an eye on it and just look at the temperature of the climate here. It was plus 15 degrees Celsius, and now it's dropping 10 degrees. It's entering the outer edge of the habitable zone. Temperatures will drop rapidly now. And Jupiter has gone vertical. Mars has gone south. And the brown dwarf is on its way back out. Look at the Earth. Surface temperatures approaching 0. You can see it starting to ice up here. Again, the simulation of the climate is undoubtedly not accurate, but it gives a rough idea. And I imagine they base it even on the albedo, which is the brightness of the Earth. As the Earth freezes over,
there's a little bit more
it
for you
becomes more
people.
snowy and
I'll
iced
leave links
up,
in the
it becomes
description.
more white.
Please feel free
So
to
it
comment.
reflects more
Remember
heat
to like, share,
and
and
light.
subscribe.
It doesn't
Thanks for
absorb
watching.
the sun.